Okay, welcome to the Matrix Microbytes webinar series, and this is the last module. It's module 7, so if you've been with me all this time, thank you so much. I'm Laureen Zarba, and today is our final module, which will focus on Realist Tax. So with that said, what is Realist Tax? Now, a lot of you have been asking me, where'd the public records go? How do I check public records? Well, they call it Realist Tax, and it is everywhere in Matrix. So I'm going to take the time to show you around and show you where it's located and what you can do with all of that in here. So Realist Tax is actually owned by CoreLogic, who owns Matrix. So it's all part of the same company. It's not like different separate companies involved in here. And it is your source for your public records and your tax information, but Realist Tax is integrated into Matrix, so you actually will have a blend of MLS data and public record data. So that is really kind of cool that you have both of those in one. So if you look at your main menu at the top here, you do have tax, which I've been asked this question too. What's the difference between these two? You have Matrix Tax and Realist Tax. So Matrix Tax it's like a quick public record check. If you click on that, it won't take you out of the Matrix area into a different website. It'll just give you a place where you can pull up a public record by an address or by a name. And there's a couple of other things that I want to show you in there as well. The Realist Tax is the main tax system. It's more robust. If you need a lot more information, you're going to go into Realist Tax. The amount of detail on property information, which includes MLS data, is just enormous. And I'm going to show you both. So before I show you that one, now in search, you might have noticed that there is a public record search here at the bottom. That one does the same exact thing as the tax matrix, okay? Same exact search screen. It's just located in a different place. They're not two separate things. So let's start with tax matrix. That's the one I just did. So I didn't leave my system. I can do a quick search from here. And if I wanted to put in somebody, let's search by name first. I'm going to put in a name here for you. I just randomly picked some names that I wanted to put in, and okay, Steinberg, Wayne. Always look down at your bottom here for your matches, because if you have 0, I know in all the years of teaching, some of you would continue to put a criterion, okay? So if you got 0, you need to take away criteria. I do have it here is one match. You can see down here where you get that count. And then I can pull up this tax record for that one. Now you'll see at the front, you're going to see these little balloons, and those are any MLS activity. And the blue means sold in Matrix. So if you ever went to the map, you'll see the blue houses are sold. Here's your tax ID. Here's the address. And I want to point out the living area. This is the interior square footage. And for us now using the Matrix system, it is a requirement in our listings, if you haven't noticed that already. And I did check this one, and this was accurate. So if you click on the tax ID, it will pull up this type of report in a way. So we have the tax information here. Now this one's missing 2024. It's not updated, but it will be down here when you're looking for the 2024 taxes. The property characteristics, and even sales scores are located in here. But for Nassau County, if any of you are Nassau County people, you'll notice that the APN here, which is the assessor's parcel number, that unique number that we all have for our properties, is a link. So if you clicked on that for Nassau County, we don't have this in Suffolk, it will take you to your nassauproperty.com. So isn't that exciting? And I did check the interior square footage here, and it was exactly the same. Also in here, you would get the last listing. So if we looked at that, this is the last time it was sold. And with the beauty of this is you just don't have to go anywhere else to get the information. You have your photos, you have the history of the property, which will be the MLS history, and then the public record history, plus any of the mortgage information that will be in there as well. You'll also have the parcel map and the flood maps for that. So let me go back over to this one. So this is not in foreclosure because it's grayed out here. So that's just searching by name. I'm going to go back up to tax, matrix tax, and I'm going to show you how to search by an address. Hold on one second. Go back in. It was spinning just a little bit too much. And this is not going to happen again, I hope. Here it is. Okay, so how did I get in there in case you missed it? It's tax, matrix tax, okay? That takes you into, it's just a quick way of doing a public record search. Here is an address. Now, if you put your address in here, especially Queens people, if you put in, I'd probably leave the dash out if you're having a problem finding the address. And if I put in an address, and if you've taken my classes before, you might be familiar with this one, Ocean in Amityville. Now, here's the thing. If you put in an address and space, one little teeny space, you're going to get 0 matches, okay? So don't space after the street name or after the street number. So see, again, I put a space in 0. I couldn't find my property, so I kept, then I figured that could have been the space, and it was. So don't even put road or drive in. Less is more when you're searching public records anyway. And then here is the one result. So here is this house. This house is on the water in Amityville. You might recognize it. It was sold, so it does have some history. So here's your tax information. This one does have 2024 in it, and it's located down here if you're looking, because you might be able to, you might miss it. So it has, and keep this in mind when you put your listings in. If there is a village tax, you're not going to find it in here. You need to go find out what the village tax is. So if you go to the village website, you'll get that. You get the last listing. They took a big hit here when they sold it. So they listed for $850 and sold it for $605. Here's your photos, the history of the property. And then, again, you get the history, you get the public records and the mortgage information. You get a lot. You get a lot of information with Realist Tax, I have to say. Now, this house is on the water. So if you look at the flood map, you're going to see, the legend down here. Here's the house. It's on a river. And then whatever it's classified as in the flood zone area by the FEMA flood maps. That's where they put them in. And that's searching just by one address. Just a couple of other things in here. Now, we are limited on time, but you could put streets in here. Let me just show you something really quick. Maplewood, this is my area, street. And then if you hit more, you could put another street in. And this is a way you might be able to farm, because it does mailing labels as well in the print, which I'm going to show you in a second, but I'm not going to do it with these streets. I thought it'd be interesting. I try to pick out the most interesting and the most, what I think might be some useful tools in whatever I'm teaching, especially in this one for Realist, is you might be interested in the foreclosure indicator over here, actively in foreclosure, which are pretty new, okay? We used to search in Stratus for list pendants, and they were like over a year old or whatever. So these are kind of new, fresh statistics and information. And I put in Patchogue for this. So in Patchogue, actively in foreclosure, I have 58. And if you look at the results, and I like showing you this because this really is a great example of blended data, blended information that we're not used to having unless you attach your listing to the public record. This automatically will get the listing information. So we have our tax information, but see these little balloons here? This is the MLS. So the blue is sold, red is expired, orange is pending. You'll know that when you go to the map, when you're doing listings, put listings on the map. Greens are on the market. So there are a few greens I noticed down here. So this one is actively on the market right now. So the green balloon. And if I'm pointing to it, so it's kind of telling me what they are. And then whatever the other color. So it coordinates with matrix. But then you have something additional here, these tags. Like, what are these little tags here? The first one says REO. Now, we should know what that means. That's a real estate owned, so it's a foreclosure. The orange ones are list pendants. These are pre-foreclosures, which means that they haven't foreclosed yet, but there is a suit pending in there. And this one's a foreclosure too, down here, and so on. So if you point to them, and they will kind of tell you what they are. They're saying pre-foreclosure, but when you open up the record, it'll say list pendants. And if you check any of them, the list pendants is within the last few months. It's not a year, 2 years, 3 years ago. So they're pretty current. So what do? If you are looking for listings, this might be a group that you would want to prospect. So if you check them all, okay, down here, your little action bar that you have, you can export them to Excel, or you can print mailing labels. So if you go into print, that's anywhere in Realist Tax that does have mailing labels. And you pick what kind of mailing labels. Well, 5160s is our standard. But do you want the owner's name on it? Or do you want current resident, or you want both? You pick, kind of look at them and decide what you want. I'm doing owner's name and then print to PDF. Now, if it's a foreclosure, you probably want current resident. So now I have mailing labels to pre-foreclosure or foreclosure properties that might potentially want to sell. Good one, right? So that I thought was something that you would be interested in. The way I found it, because I can just hear you saying, how'd you do that again? It was matrix tax, and over here, actively foreclosed. Here's something you might want to explore too: owner occupied, yes or no, and maybe the non-owner occupied might be interested in selling. So things like that. You know what? We learn something new all the time as we go. Now, there are other places within Matrix that you'll see the tax information available. So let me show you around before I go into Realist Tax here. So I just was in Matrix Tax. Let me pull up some listings. And I have 15 new listings in my Market Watch. I'm going to click on those. And when you pull up a listing, and you've probably seen this unless you haven't taken a class yet, which you should, and thank you for coming because it's important to learn all of this. You are in what we call a 360 property view automatically. And that gives you the information across the top here. Have you noticed all of these? You get the tax information without having to click on a public record link or click somewhere, and now you don't know how to get back to your listing. It's all part of your Matrix 360 view. So in here, you'll get the tax information, and the history, all of that, the tax, the history underneath the MLS data is coming from this particular tax, Realist Tax information. Again, with the parcel maps and the flood maps, these are all Realist. So just what little hidden places. No, and they have so many maps in here. So, we always were looking for our bird's eye view. This is like the closest thing that I'm going to get, which I can kind of see what the property is. It's even giving me the square footage here. You can even walk properties and so on. So much. So that was the 360. Now, if I go back to all of the single line listings here that I just pulled up, there is another place that you want to be aware of. You see all these widgets in the front of your listings? These black boxes here. This one is your Realist Reports, and this is your Realist Map. So if you wanted more information on a property, all you would have to do is let's click on this Realist Reports. So let me do it. So I'm going to show you what happens. It actually is going to open up in not the Matrix Tax, but the Realist Tax. It's actually taking me to that website now. So now I'm like out a Matrix, but you can always come back. So I have this 472 Bay Avenue in Patchogue that came up. It's a new listing because I took it from my Market Watch. And it's all about the reports in here. So if you need more data than the Matrix Tax gives you, you want to come here because we have the property details. Now, if we scroll down, You get the owner's information, the location, the tax information, the tax year history, the characteristics, the sales score, the estimated value. I mean, we see this a lot in Matrix is AVM. It's an automated value model, which is really a public record value model. So, I have to check these numbers and see. They put it front and center a lot, the AVMs. You get comparables for properties, market trends. Now, these can be printed or they can be all printed together in one big report. Or maybe you want to, here's here, let me go back to neighbors for a second. I kind of went fast here. Here's all the neighbors that's near this house. So if you come down and scroll here, it will pull up. You can just keep going. Now, any of this data can be downloaded, emailed, or printed, but I really want to show you the reports as we go, especially this one for now. So you got market trends. And the market trend here, I'm skip that one pretty fast too, is the market overview, the average sales. So this house is in Patchogue, so that's what it's giving me the data for, the change in sales activity and things like that. The neighborhood profile would be a good report for maybe a buyer that'd be interested in this property. Here, I'll show you how to do it on this one. The neighborhood profile, so you get your population, the demographics, you get the housing information, you get the quality of life, the household incomes, the commutes. You even get the restaurants. I know Patchogue is full of restaurants and places to go. The schools, eating and drinking. Okay, very important. That might be the phone numbers too, and the shopping. So if you wanted to just print the neighborhood profile, maybe for a buyer, you would do this: print, quick print. Quick print will print this page. Customized print might potentially print all of it. I don't know if you want to give a buyer all of this, but if you click on this, oh, did I do customize? Hold on a second. I want a quick print. Quick print would only be that neighborhood profile, okay? And then you could print this out. I think this is like 4 pages or something like that available. Similar to RPR in ways, right? I guess what I kept looking at when I saw this. And let me go back with that. Now, I got all of this from a listing. I clicked on, let me show you again, opening a lot of windows here, the RLs in front here, okay? All you had to do is click on that, whoops, you're in Realist Tax, you got all the information you could possibly want on that property, okay? So those are the little hidden areas that you will see the Realist Tax available for you. Now, if you want to go into the system, like I just did by clicking here, you would go into tax, Realist Tax, okay? Matrix Tax for quick public record checks, Realist Tax, because we want more. I want more information about the property. So I'm going to click on that. So let's go in and look at that one. Now, keep in mind, I'm still learning the program too. So as I go, there might be even more information in here that I don't know yet, but I'm discovering a lot of really cool things. It knows who you are because you linked it right from your matrix. So it says, good afternoon, Laureen, good morning, Laureen, whatever it says. And then this dashboard, which I think is fairly new for this tax program, they tell me they didn't have this before we got it. We'll give you quick statistics about your information in your county. So I am in Suffolk County, so I clicked on Suffolk. You could pick all counties, some counties, whatever you want to be informed about. It'll give you averages and median prices, and then it gives you some kind of charts that are here. It will even, I didn't save any properties, tell me what I last viewed in properties. I can pull them up if I want to, and any saved searches. So again, the only thing I have done so far is put my county in here, but you can go in and utilize some of this information that's available. You can search by address if you want to here, or this is what I've been doing, just go to search. So now this is, I think, fairly new platform. So at first I'm like, okay, how do we manipulate this view here? Because it's split into 3 different screens. So on the left side are your searches. So you can search just like we did with the quick one, but you're in the main system now here. Here you might have a map here. Okay, it might come up with a map here, and then down at the bottom, you have prints, email, labels, and reports, okay? So the reports are what I just showed you, but we're gonna actually search an address right here, okay? Or owner's name, whatever you want it to do. And I'm gonna put in a house I use for a lot of activity. Clean Drive, site asset. And here it is. So I'm going to click on that and proceed. Now, I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. I think you should put in your own address and see the information that comes up for you, okay? Because you will know, maybe you don't know, but you know, your square footage and your tax amount and your exterior acreage is in all kinds of information like that. So now I found the property. Here it is here. Okay, down there, that's the property. I mean, I can change this to a satellite view if I really want to see it and look at it and see where it is. It looks like a main road there. I never noticed that before, but it's pretty right on a main road over there. And also I can go down here to the reports. So that's what I'm doing. To get out of this view, click on the report or click on the house. So now I'm back where I was when I clicked on that little icon that was next to the realist report one, same as this. Only I went in and then I put an address in. So it just takes you to the same exact place because it might not be listed. This house is not listed. So I have to come in here to investigate this property, right? So we have our property details and so on. Now, this is what I wanted to show you is the comparables. It will do a CMA for you, which is very interesting because we do CMAs using MLS listings, which this will use as well. But if there's anything that wasn't listed on MLS that's sold, it will incorporate that. So what a great thing that'll do all of that for you. Again, you have your market trends, your neighbors, your neighbor profile, assessor's map. Even an assessor's map, did you see this? I didn't show you this. Hold on 1 second. If this is something you needed, it will, here it is. Really kind of great that you get that as well. Let me move some of these Zoom bars out of the way. And then, hold on a second. I'm gonna just find the X. Okay, here it is. The flood map, but there are some reports over here they're charging you for. So over here, I mean, that's totally up to you, but I'm just going to show you what we get with our packages in the system. Let me go back to reports. All right, so comparables. So what it does is it will take 10 comps that are near the house. It goes a mile, but we can customize that, which I'm going to show you. So you can try this. You can put your property in and maybe hit the comparable report here, and that's what I'm going to do. Right now it's spinning. It's trying to find some comps for me near the property, and it found 10. So here's the house here, and then here's the list down here, okay? Now, to manipulate these views, you want to look here, okay? You have, right now I'm in a split. Things are split up here. So if I only wanted to see the map, I could click that. Or I only wanted to see the list of comps, I can click that, okay? If I wanted to go back to the view that I was in, it's called the split. I guess the split is okay as long as you know how to manipulate these. So look for these buttons up here. And here's your summary statistics over on the right side for that. So let's go to the list. Now, here are the properties. And there are a lot more headings or field headings that I can't see because I would like to look at what the sold price was, and I don't see it. So if we scroll all the way over, here's the sale price here. That's what I'm looking for. And here's all the other details that you get. Now, remember, anything in here you can download or export to Excel, okay? So, or email or print. But for us, I just want to drag this. Sale, nope, I don't. Well, sales date might be important here, but I want the sale price. Sale price. Let's put this way over here. Okay, let me scroll over and see if it's there. Okay, good. Okay, so this is what they sold it for, but that was a 2014, I think. So you have a whole bunch in here. Now, if you want to look at them, because you want to use this in a CMA, over on the left, you have the camera, and the camera will show you photos. So I'm not interested in the photos just now, but here are the documents, okay? Let's start with the first one. It's going to open up the property, and then you can look at the property details, and then go to the next one, and the next one. And on the right side, it says include incomparables. If you don't want that house, like this one, I would probably take it out. It doesn't look like that house at all. So let me I got something in my way here. Okay, take that check mark out. And then you can go to each one. Okay, just like we do for a regular CMA, you can see whether or not you want to use those in there. So if I didn't want to use one, I could just uncheck it. These are 10 here. And then, okay, so now what do? You're going to go up to print and click on customize print, which will give you other options. So I want the comparables, the property detail, the neighborhood profile, neighbors. You don't want the neighbors in, you can uncheck them if you want to. And then you click proceed. Okay, so it's pretty easy to do, but I kind of would check the comps to make sure that they picked pretty good ones. They were within a mile. I have to show you how you can customize that search criteria and put bedrooms in, which I didn't. And then you would press print. Now it's coming up into a PDF style. I like this style better. I can see it better. Okay, so this is 18 pages. It doesn't have a lot of fluff and color or all of that, but it is great statistics for you that if you want to go in here and look, and maybe there's a for sale by owner near you that you want to use as a comp, and now you're not really sure how you're going to do it, then maybe you can do the CMA using the Realist Tax program and see what comes up. It really wasn't hard to do. I think some of the properties, though, is coming up with no comps, and you might have to adjust the criteria for that. So you get an idea what that looks like. So let me just show you how you would adjust that. Move my picture out of the way. So again, here's the property. I clicked on comparables, and then there's a search criteria button in the right-hand corner where it's going to give me 10 comps. Okay, that's fine. I can change that if I want to. It's going to include all of these things, which it's fine. Pools here, I don't know why, but there's no preference here. And it's going a mile. Now, if you want to go a half a mile, I'll leave it on a mile. Usually I do a half though. We can do that. And then you probably want to put in your bedrooms. And this one I think is 4, but I'm not sure. And then include all sales tax. Or maybe you don't want distressed properties. You want to exclude those. You can just take those out and just go back in here and get a little bit. What it's doing is comparing this property type to other property types. With like 2 floors, things like that. Or you can change it to something else in here. Or you can actually pick a style. So I didn't do any of those, but you can do that. And then hit submit. I just did change the bedrooms in there. Now, Realist Tax does a lot more than that. I mean, this is a great farming tool for you to use. This is a great place for you to probably explore some CMA information. You can print here, you can email anything at all to yourself, or export it into Excel. So I think I have explained just about everything. Everybody have a great day.